I owned cafes for 15 years. Your ice is alive. It is exactly 2:42 p.m. on a Tuesday, and I am standing behind the point-of-sale terminal at my third location, watching you stare blankly at the seasonal Mango Bliss poster. That specific piece of promotional cardboard has been taped to the sneeze guard for 3 consecutive seasons, the edges currently curling inward, the vibrant orange ink fading into a sickly, jaundiced yellow under the recessed halogen lighting. You are actively performing the intense mental gymnastics required to justify handing me an $8.75 transaction for what is essentially crushed water and industrial-grade fructose. I watch your eyes dart defensively between the stale pastry case and our primary blending station. You hear the commercial blender scream at an abrasive 85 decibel frequency that heavily suggests the motor bearings are currently grinding themselves into a fine metallic dust. Or perhaps the cube ice loaded in the hopper is just a little too fossilized today. But you do not step back from the counter. You lean in closer. You pull out your heavy metal credit card. You are standing there, meticulously calculating your daily caloric intake, completely oblivious to the fact that you are about to participate in one of the most brilliantly executed biological labor offsets in modern retail history. You deeply believe that you are making a responsible dietary choice. I am watching a highly optimized human filtration system clocking in for its afternoon shift. To truly understand your designated role in our overarching business model, you have to look past the Edison bulbs, ignore the locally sourced reclaimed wood paneling, and gaze straight into the dimly lit back-of-house storage area. Back there, wedged aggressively between a leaning tower of collapsed, damp cardboard boxes and a mop sink that smells faintly of bleach and overwhelming defeat, sits the commercial ice machine. It hums constantly at a low, ominous 60 hertz, a vibrating drone that you can physically feel in your molars if you stand too close for too long. If you were to take a high-lumen flashlight and shine it directly up underneath the evaporator plate of that machine, you would not see pristine, glacial frost forming in a sterile environment. You would see it, the faint, metallic tang of pink slime, Serratia marcescens to be clinically accurate, hiding in plain sight, a creeping bacterial biofilm that clings to the plastic hosing like barnacles to a sunken freighter. Out front, the air smells only of slightly burnt espresso beans, and the synthetic vanilla aerosol we purposefully pump through the HVAC system to mask the operational reality of the room. You just hear the specific, hollow thwack of a blender lid being rinsed with lukewarm tap water for exactly 1.5 seconds instead of being properly sanitized. That 1.5-second rinse is an unwritten law of queue management. It reliably leaves a microscopic, translucent layer of yesterday's dairy fat, expired oat milk residue, and matcha powder, perfectly preserved on the rubber gasket, just waiting to be violently emulsified into your expensive afternoon treat. I watch your face as you finalize the transaction, your internal negotiation broadcasting loud and clear across the cold granite countertop. I deserve a treat, you tell yourself, shifting your weight from one foot to the other in a pathetic display of consumer self-soothing. It's fruit. Fruit is nature's candy. If it was dirty, I'd taste it, right? You are, of course, entirely ignoring the glaring fact that my barista, a severely dehydrated college sophomore running on 3 hours of sleep, just handled 17 different credit cards, tied off a leaking trash bag, and touched your cash without washing their hands before aggressively grabbing your plastic cup by the rim. I am making the healthy choice, you whisper in your mind, adjusting your posture to reflect your superior dietary restraint. Meanwhile, I am standing 10 feet away, watching the 4 p.m. ritual of the Crusty Pump unfold directly behind you, the sharp, sickening snap of crystallized liquid sugar breaking free inside a sticky syrup dispenser that has not been dismantled and deep cleaned since the Obama administration. I'll just ask for light ice, you think to yourself, feeling incredibly savvy, acting like a true industry insider, manipulating the menu for maximum volumetric value. I smile from the back office because asking for light ice does absolutely nothing to alter the bacterial count of the frozen water. It simply means we pump an extra ounce of the 98% corn syrup concentrate that we strategically market to you as a wholesome, farm-to-table seasonal puree. You actively tell yourself that the little black speck floating in the thick foam of your drink is a piece of authentic, expensive vanilla bean.
It is, without a doubt, a decaying fragment of the blender's pulverized rubber O-ring, steadily eroding into the beverage after serving 40,000 identical orders before yours. In my 15 years navigating the upper echelons of local store profit architectures, analyzing the raw data from over 40,000 blended drinks served across multiple zip codes, I realized very early on that we don't call this systemic avoidance neglect. In our regional operational stability meetings, we legally define it as optimized labor allocation. If I force my shift supervisor to spend 45 minutes meticulously scrubbing the ice bin with food-grade sanitizer, dismantling the syrup nozzles, and soaking the blender gaskets in a chemical bath, that is 45 minutes they are not making direct eye contact with you and actively upselling you on a desperately stale $5 almond croissant. The overarching financial system demands that the ice be a biological byproduct of our profit margin. I once saw a regular customer, a mid-level tech recruiter, march in and order a triple berry frappe every single day for 3 years straight. He would proudly announce to anyone within earshot that he was getting his critical daily antioxidants. He truly thought he was hacking his cellular aging process. In reality, that man was the primary reason I never had to pay for a $400 professional mold remediation service for the front blender station. His robust, heavily taxed immune system was doing the grunt work for us. He was neutralizing the microbial overgrowth 1 cup at a time. We were quietly bioengineering an entire demographic of consumers with heavily reinforced gut linings, naturally capable of digesting the inevitable, grimy residues of retail efficiency. You think you are paying a 1,200% markup for tap water and industrial-grade fructose. We know we are utilizing you as an unpaid biological sponge for our plumbing infrastructure. The irony of this entire theater is staggering. The more natural and vibrant a blended drink looks on our backlit menu board, the more entirely synthetic and legally ambiguous the store's cleaning schedule actually is. You are not a victim of poor cafe hygiene. You are a high-performance biofilter keeping the entire local operational budget afloat. Wait. Do you hear that? Stop scrolling and listen for a second. That low, rhythmic wheezing sound struggling underneath the ambient lo-fi hip-hop playlist? That is not the espresso machine's milk steamer purging its wand. That is the exact sound of the ice machine's primary water filter, a specialized cartridge that officially expired in November of 2021, quietly crying for help under the immense pressure of unfiltered municipal tap water. It really forces a moment of brutal self-reflection for anyone standing in that line. Why did you actually order the fresh fruit smoothie today instead of the $2 black drip coffee? Option 1. You genuinely wanted a healthy, refreshing alternative to the anxiety-inducing effects of a third afternoon espresso. Option 2. The glossy, condensation-covered photo on the menu board somehow made you feel like you were the kind of vibrant, active person who consumes raw antioxidants on a Tuesday afternoon. Option 3. You deeply, naively believed that handing over a premium, exorbitant price inherently guaranteed a premium level of microscopic cleanliness behind the counter. 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is option 4. You actively wanted to pay $9 to step up and act as a human filter for the pink slime currently colonizing the store's ice maker, thereby preserving the manager's monthly labor budget. Take a moment right now. Tag that one specific friend down in the comments who always proudly marches up to the register to order the most complicated, heavily blended, non-coffee drink on the entire menu and loudly claims it is their ultimate cleanse for the day. Let them know exactly what kind of heavy, systemic lifting their digestive tract is currently doing for the global economy. You walk out the door holding that sweating plastic cup, feeling a twinge of consumer guilt over the sugar content. Meanwhile, I watch from behind the espresso bar, calculating the thousands of dollars in deferred maintenance and deep cleaning fees you just absorbed for my franchise. You think you are paying for an indulgence. I know you are providing free biological waste disposal. Your weakness for overpriced smoothies is actually a public service. You are the only thing standing between the coffee industry and a total breakdown of the health code. You are not a sucker. You are the guardian of the gasket. Send this to the person who treats the blended menu like a wellness retreat. They need to understand their true role in the ecosystem. Next time, just order the hot coffee. Heat kills the evidence.